All right. Hello, peoples, and welcome. Today's class is the Get Ready for College class. And get ready for college. Know what colleges want, and then do those things. Know what colleges are looking for in a prospective student, and then do those things. Do take some notes because I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff. And by writing down notes, you will remember those things. You did that on purpose. Have you ever seen a child scream that? You did that on purpose. Don't you just want to say, yes, I did do that on purpose? Well, as you move through high school and eventually college and life, do things on purpose. Choose the things that you would do and the activities that you'll be involved with. So be intentional. And this is one of the be intentional classes. Intentional is an adjective. It's a function word that depends on something else. So we have to be intentional about our grades, be intentional about our test scores, our involvement with clubs, our college selection. We need to be intentional with our college applications and be intentional with our college essays. Don't just randomly do stuff. Be intentional with those things. Yes, have some fun in school, but be intentional. Intentional college planning involves taking responsibility for your grades, for your test scores, for your attitude towards school, and your attitude towards teachers. It requires gaining clarity about what we want with college, owning what we say, and choosing up how we show up in all situations from how we want and for how we want to contribute. So being intentional requires refining skills, learning to choose to respond versus react, consciously increasing focus on the college experience we want to intend to create without defining how it's going to look and all that. It's simple, but rarely easy. Is it worth it? Yes. When you're admitted to your dream school and you earn that incredible scholarship package, yes, all of this is worth it. So have a goal. The object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or a desired result is goal. So what is your goal? I love this quote by Mel Pancoast. The odds of hitting your target go up dramatically when you aim at it. So you can't hit what you don't aim for. The odds of hitting your target go up dramatically when you aim for it. So what is your current GPA and your current test scores? What will your high school GPA be when you graduate? Aim for that. What SAT score do you want? What ACT score do you want? What will you do to get there? Your PSAT, APs, and all of that. So be intentional with your grades, be intentional with your test scores, and be intentional with everything. So be intentional. So let's get ready. The next time you go to a grocery store, go down the cereal aisle. So check out the cereal aisle. And then walk about halfway down and then stoop so that you're on your knees or about 3 feet tall. And then look around. What do you see at that eye level? You see all the shiny, sugary cereal boxes aimed directly to children ages 3 to 6. So as you walk through that grocery store, what do you see? You see all those shiny cereal boxes. Why? Why are all the shiny cereal boxes at the eye level of a 3 to 6-year-old? It's because they are positioning their product to the right consumer. So when that 3 to 6-year-old child is walking through the grocery store with a parent or a guardian, they're going to be at about 3 feet tall and they're going to look left and right, and they're going to see right at their eye level those shiny cereal boxes. And they're going to grab one off of the shelf and say, "Mom, Dad, could you buy this for me?" So these companies are positioning their product to the consumer. And did you know that companies pay extra to have their product on a specific shelf? So companies are intentional with their product placement. So we want to be intentional about how you place yourself before the colleges. Your job as a student is to make yourself into that shiny cereal box that colleges will want to buy, want to admit. And you can create, craft, and be intentional by implementing a plan and a goal to become a great college candidate. The Brass V. I love this story. Maybe you've heard it. I'm going to read it to you. Every year, new college freshmen move into their college dorms. The hustle and bustle of moving boxes, unpacking, meeting new friends is common on every campus. A particular college student moved into his freshman dorm, and one of the first things that he did was he mounted a brass letter V to his door. Everyone who walked by would inquire about the letter V. What was it for? The college freshman wouldn't say. People would constantly ask him what this letter was for. Was it for this? Was it for that? And he would smile and simply say, "You'll see." No one knew what the brass V was or what it represented, or if it represented anything at all, not even his closest friends, nor his roommates. The college years passed. Every year it was the same thing. The college student would move into his dorm and mount his brass V to the door. Periodically, it would need dusting and cleaning. This was done to keep the brass shining. Sophomore year, junior year, senior year, the brass V was mounted on the dorm room door. Dorm mates and students would walk by and ask the same question. Even faculty and professors were curious about the mysterious brass V. The answer was always the same. The college student would simply smile and say, "You'll see." Eventually, the senior year of college came and the final set of finals was taken, yet no one knew what the brass V was. There was a buzz in the air on graduation night. The college faculty and the dean sat on the stage. The opening graduation ceremony started off as most graduations do. A guest speaker gave a riveting motivational speech. The dean walked up to the podium and announced who the new valedictorian would be. The dean looked at the college student as he made his way up to the stage. The applause was energizing. The college student spoke gently into the microphone and said, "For 4 years, all of you have asked what this brass V was." Holding it high above his head, he proudly smiled and said, "V is for valedictorian." So this is how you can be intentional. Set your goal, do whatever is necessary to achieve that goal. If you want to be valedictorian, awesome. Set your goal and do that. Get ready. So how do we be intentional and make ourselves into great college candidates? First, we mold ourselves into a great college candidate by asking a very important question. What does the college value? What do the colleges that you're going to apply to, what do those colleges value? And then do that. If the colleges don't value it, then of course, don't do it. So if you know how, it's not scary. And I'm going to tell you how. So understand what a college and university is looking for in a candidate, and then do those things. What does the college value? If they value it, do it. If they don't value it, then don't do it. On the college application, colleges ask specific questions. Go check out a college application. See what types of questions are on those college applications, and then do the things that you can boast about in that college application. As an example, on the Air Force Academy's application, One of the question was, do you have the Billy Mitchell Award? Well, that college must value that. That's why they're asking that question. And if that college wants you to have the Billy Mitchell Award, then go and do it and earn that award. 5 things that colleges are looking for in a student. We're going to cover how, why, what, when, where, and all of that. And the first thing is grades. Your grades and your GPA are always important. So be intentional with your great grades. Your job as a high school student is to get the best grades that you can. Take some challenging classes, AP honors, dual enrollment, IB, etc., but don't take so many of these hard classes that your grades are going to be impacted negatively. Your job is to graduate high school with the highest grades and highest GPA that you can. Better grades will increase your college selection options, and that if you need help, get help from teachers, counselors, peers, tutoring, whatever it is that you need. Do that. So your job is to graduate with the highest grades that you can. So to get good grades, what do? Well, first, turn in your homework. Kind of a no-brainer on that one. Turn in your homework completed on time. Students that turn in their homework on time have at least a 3.0 GPA. Also participate in class by asking questions and interacting positively in the class. Learn to overcome the obstacle of not asking questions in class. Ask questions. The more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to be, and the easier it will become to participate in class. By participating in class and joining in with a positive interaction and respecting the teacher, your grades will go up. And this will also help with the teacher recommendation letters later on. I know when I was in high school, I was really shy about asking questions in class. I thought I was the only student that had that same question. But in reality, most of the other students in my class had the same question. The second thing that colleges are going to ask about and find out is your test scores. So be intentional with your test scores. And those test scores are going to be the PSAT, the SAT, ACT. They can also be APs, IB, and any other type of tests that you might be taking throughout high school. So tests are important and can help you if you have a great score. And that. JD, what about test optional or test blind colleges? What about that? I've been hearing about that. What is that? Test optional means that a student can apply to the college and give the college a test score or not give the college a test score and get admitted. Test blind means the college does not want to see your test scores at all. And there are some colleges that are test blind. For the class of 2026, many colleges are going to remain test optional or even test blind. However, for class of 2027 and beyond, it's my guess that these colleges that were test optional or test blind may go back to the old ways and require one or more of these tests. For example, this last year, Purdue University, they required all students to submit test scores, whereas the previous few years, because of pandemic, they did not require test scores. So there were colleges that were test optional before pandemic, and these colleges continue to remain test optional. If you want to talk about testing strategies and all that, then give me a call and we can schedule a meeting. Remember that question, what does the college value? Do that. If the college values or requires test scores, then it is to your advantage to take the SAT or the ACT as many times as needed to get the best score that you can. So look at your score And if your score is in the range of what the college wants and they are test optional, then give them that score. If your score falls below the range is and they are test optional, then don't give them the score. If your score falls below what is required and they require the test score, then do not apply to that college. We could talk about which colleges you should look at, which colleges you should apply to. For some of my students, we've given the test scores to some colleges, and to other colleges we have not given the test score. So it just depends on what your score is and which colleges it is that you're going to be applying to. By practicing prep and study, a great SAT and ACT score can be created and crafted. If you're aiming for a target and a number of 1460 on your SAT, will potentially get you a full ride and free college. And the equivalent of that would be a 33 on your ACT score. Can you do it? Yes, if you put your mind to it and do it. So Ellie asked the question, what does the college value? Do that. She reached out to Pacific Lutheran University up in Seattle, and she asked this question. Write this question down. What is your best scholarship, and what do I have to do to get it? Write this down. What is your best scholarship, and what do I have to do to get it? What's your biggest scholarship? How do I qualify for it? She asked that question at PLU, and the recruiter said, our best scholarship was based on a 28 ACT score or a 1300 SAT score, either one, don't care which one, and a 3.0 GPA or higher. So a 28 or higher ACT score and a 3.0 or higher will get you our best scholarship at that college. Ellie took both the SAT and the ACT. She decided she was going to focus on the ACT, and she took the ACT 3 times. The third time, she popped a 28. Had she taken the test one more time and gotten a 29 or even a perfect 36, she would not have gotten any more scholarship money at that particular college. So as you're progressing through taking these tests, at some point you will be done. At what point will be determined as to which colleges it is you will be applying to. So be intentional with your test scores. The third thing that college are going to ask about is extracurricular involvement in school and outside of school. Besides your grades and your test scores, what else do you do in high school? Colleges are asking these things to see if you might be involved in one or more activities that the college has. This is important to colleges because students who are involved in the activity in college are more likely to stay in college and not drop out and eventually graduate. This is what colleges want. They want students who will graduate from their college. So get involved with some different activities in high school, and then consider being involved with those same or similar activities in college. So if you're in speech and debate in high school, or you're in chess club in high school, and the college that you're going to be applying to has a speech and debate or a chess club program, then consider being involved in that in college. Here's why, and this is what colleges think. We need to know what colleges think so that we can act intentionally. So when you put on your resume and you apply to the college and you say on your resume, I'm involved in chess club in my high school, and your college has a chess club program, I want to be involved in that in college. The college is thinking, awesome. what's going to happen is this student's going to come to our college and join the chess club and meet other students who are like-minded, who like chess, and make friends. And when you have a friend or two in college, you're going to feel comfortable at that school, and you're going to stay there, and you're going to matriculate and graduate. And that's what colleges want, is for you to graduate from their college, because that makes the college look better. One of the categories that is valued and ranked by the colleges is what's called graduation rates. And the reason why colleges have these different programs and activities and sports in colleges so that students get involved with those things or go to those sporting events, meet other students and make friends. And when you make a friend or two in college, you're going to feel comfortable, you're going to stay, you're going to enjoy your college time, and you're going to matriculate and graduate. And one of the really cool serendipities of college is making lifelong friends. And just a couple weeks ago, I met with one of my college friends, and we went out for breakfast and had a good time and all that stuff. So be intentional with your extracurricular activities. Don't join every club that your school has. This will not impress a college. Do get a leadership position within the club, any leadership position. And what colleges like is they like longevity. You to be in the same club for multiple years. If you can, be involved with that same club all 4 years. Student government, key club, chess club, NHS, best buddies, high school sports. Those are all good things to be involved with. Never do anything to impress a college, because colleges kind of figure that out as they're reading your essays and reading your resume and stuff. Do get involved with these different activities, these different sports, because you want to do that. That impresses a college. So you can be involved with things that are in school, and then you can be involved with things that are outside of school. Outside of school could be having a job, being employed, getting involved with Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. Could also be some form of martial arts. Also being involved with your church, temple, or synagogue. Those are some different things that you can do outside of school. Colleges like that as well. But don't kill yourself by taking on too much, by doing too many things. So I just mentioned a couple: Boys and Girls Club, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, karate, martial arts, club sports, volunteering and charity work, church, temple, and synagogue involvement, employment, and that. And then get a leadership position in whatever it is, whether you're in an activity in school or you're in an activity outside of school. Look for and get any leadership position. Leadership positions don't necessarily mean that you are president or treasurer of your club or your activity. Those are good things. Another word for leadership is responsibility, taking responsibility. Here's an example. Is Tori applied, she got involved in an academic club in her high school, and there were 2 or 3 people running for president and 2 or 3 people running for vice president for this academic club at her school, and no one had registered to vote for secretary. So she put her name in as secretary, and guess what? She was elected secretary. On the college application, it asks, what's the name of the activity, academic club? And then the next question on the college application, it asks, what is your title? Oh, my title is secretary or treasurer or president or vice president. All of those things are good. And again, leadership is taking responsibility. So you can state in your resume, I took on more responsibility and I did this. That also impresses a college. Of the 5 things that colleges are looking for in a student, number 5 is to show or demonstrate leadership or have a passion about 1 or 2 things. Be intentional with your passion and your leadership. Too many times I've seen or heard parents and students say that colleges want a well-rounded student. That is not true. What colleges want is they want to see students that are deeply involved in 1 or 2 activities. So don't go out and join every club and hobby and activity and all that stuff. Get involved in 1 or 2 things and then dive deep into whatever that hobby, whatever that club is, whatever that activity is. Many students are rejected from top colleges because they thought that grades and test scores were enough to get them in. Grades and test scores are important, yes, but these are not the factor that separates one from the masses. So over the course of your high school years, develop your passion. What do you love? What are you interested in? What do you spend time doing or looking for information on? When students apply to colleges, they're typically minimalist. Here's me, make a decision. What we want to be is we want to be maximists. We want to give the college a lot of information. So here's an example. I was reviewing Connor's resume, and on his resume, he said clerk, C-L-E-R-K, 5 letters. That's it. And I said, give me some more information on clerk. What is that? I have an idea of what that means. I don't want to guess what it means. And we don't want the college to guess what you actually do in your activity, in your employment, in your club, in your hobby. We want to tell them specifically, I do this. So I asked Connor, tell me some more information. He says, well, I greet customers when they come in. I'm like, okay, put that down. Customer service, customer relations. I stock the shelves. Okay, put that down. Inventory. What else? Oh, the boss has me lock up the store twice a week. I'm like, wow, that's huge. That boss trusts you and you are trustworthy. That's leadership. So another word for leadership is responsibility. And the boss gave Connor responsibility to lock up the shop twice a week. So Connor put all that stuff down in his resume. As a result of that, Connor got a leadership scholarship. Had Connor not told the college about all the leadership stuff that he did through his job, they would not have given him that scholarship. I've talked to a lot of students, and these are some of the things that they've said. I'm interested in so many things, I don't know what to do. Or I'm not interested in anything. What do I do? How do I develop that passion? It's also called a spike. So here's a great question. What makes you steaming mad? Or what makes you excitedly happy? Those might be things to focus on to develop your passion, to develop your spike. Here's an example of a student, Matt. Matt plays guitar for his high school. He's interested in the songs, he's interested in the music, he's interested in the musical composition, and of course, he's interested in the sound that his electric guitar makes. Matt used the internet to find new effects pedals for his guitar so that he could create the exact sound that he was looking for. You guys know what an effects pedal is? When you see the musician standing up on stage and they step on a pedal on the floor, it changes the tone of the guitar, or it makes the echo or the reverb sound. That's an effects pedal. Matt's passion for looking for the perfect sound led him to finding the schematics of an effects pedal, and he went down to the hardware store and he bought all the appropriate parts, and soldered them together. And through some trial and error, he made his own effects pedal. Matt is not going to study music as his major, but he is going to study engineering and math and maybe develop a better effects pedal when he graduates. So Matt was intentional about these things, and he wrote about that in his resume and in his essay. I'll kind of paraphrase his essay. His essay said, I play guitar. I'm in the youth band at my church. I also play in a band in my high school. I'm really interested in music and sound, the musical composition, and all of that. I was looking on YouTube for the perfect effects pedal. I didn't find it. So what I ended up doing was I went out and I found the schematics to build an effects pedal. I went to the hardware store and I bought the appropriate pieces and I soldered them together, and through some trial and error, I made my own effects pedal. And your college has an engineering program. I want to study engineering and maybe work for an effects pedal company when I graduate college. That was an awesome essay that he wrote. What that showed the college is initiative. And it also showcased leadership. He took responsibility on himself to build that effects pedal. Here's another student, Luke. Luke loves computers and the software that is used to create the programs that people use. He likes to tinker and look at computer code. He uses the internet to help write better software programs. He started a company that jailbreaks iPods, iPads, iPhones, and posted that on Craigslist. So Luke used his passion of writing software to start a business and used that theme in his application in his essay. One theme in the application extracurricular section that this one theme complemented his resume, and he wrote about that in his essay. And yes, Luke did study software design and computer science in college. Again, I'll kind of paraphrase his essay. His essay was, I learned about HTML and writing code for websites. I revamped my high school's website, and I got an iPad for my birthday. I learned how to jailbreak it, which means going into the software and manipulating the software on the Apple product. And I started a small business and posted it online on Craigslist. I can jailbreak your iPhone, iPad, etc. And your college has a software major program. I want to study that. And Luke did. And he got admitted to college, studied software design, and ended up working for a software company upon graduation. One more story about Gabby. Gabby loves to help people. She also likes politics. She got involved with Model UN at her school, and she got involved in student government also at her high school, and she also helped plan events. She got involved with various different competitions, and she volunteered at underprivileged camps for young kids. So Gabby has a compassion for helping others, which is evident throughout her college application and in her essay. In the extracurricular section, she told the colleges of the volunteer work she did when the different storms and hurricanes ravaged certain areas. She told about the volunteer hours she helped underprivileged kids. She highlighted in her application the charity walk she was involved with, both as a participant and as a volunteer. And she's studying humanities and international relations in college. So Gabby was intentional with these clubs, activities, and hobbies and interests. It's very easy to develop a passion when you know how. To develop a passion, it's really easy. You simply learn more about it, whatever it is. The more you learn about it, the greater your appreciation is for that. Elijah was interested in Mandarin Chinese. By the end of his junior year, he had taken all the Mandarin Chinese classes that his high school offered. And he asked me, what should I do? Because I want to study Mandarin Chinese in college and maybe do international business in China, or maybe even be a Chinese interpreter. And I've taken all the Mandarin Chinese classes at my high school. There aren't anymore. What do I do? And I made the suggestion, forge your own path. Either take an online Mandarin Chinese class or take a Mandarin Chinese class from one of the local community colleges. He took 2 classes from the community college, and he wrote about that in his resume and in his essay. I took all the Mandarin Chinese classes that were available to me in my high school. I'm very interested in this subject, so I decided to take some community college classes. And your college has a Mandarin Chinese program. I want to study that. That was very powerful, and he got into a prestigious college in New York with that essay and his resume, and of course his grades and all that stuff. Get ready to visit some colleges. Be intentional when you visit colleges. Make an appointment to go on a tour of a few colleges. Ask yourself this question: what colleges are within a 50-mile radius of where I live? And then go visit those colleges first. So if you live in Maricopa County, there are 3 colleges that are here in Maricopa County. There's ASU, Arizona State University. There's Grand Canyon University, and there is Arizona Christian University. Those are 3 colleges that are within a 50-mile radius of anyone who lives in Maricopa County. And go visit those colleges, even if you don't want to attend those colleges, so that you have some information, some ammo when you go and visit some other colleges. So sign up by go to the college's website and look for a tour. First look for virtual tour, and then check out the virtual tour. And if that piques your interest, then sign up for a physical tour and go and visit those colleges. And when you sign up, you're going to get on their radar and on their mailing list. And then colleges will be able to track you. We want them to track you. So you want to get on their list. So the example that I used was ASU, GCU, and Arizona Christian University, ACU. Those are 3 very different types of colleges here in Maricopa County. ASU is a large public school. Grand Canyon University is a small or a mid-size private college. And Arizona Christian University is a small religious college. When you visit Arizona Christian University, look at it through 2 lenses. Look at it through the size of the school. It's about 1,000 students. And then also look at it through the religious lens, because it is religiously affiliated, and they do require you to do some religious things. So I told you the story about Ellie, and she asked that question at PLU, what's your best scholarship and how do I get it? That's another way to phrase, what does the college value do that? So Ellie's story is she visited Pacific Lutheran University up in Seattle, and then she visited Willamette University in Oregon, and then she visited University of the Pacific in California. And each of those colleges has a individual personality. When you visit the college, you want to get the vibe of the campus and get find out what that personality is. The college personality could be party school, academic personality, athletic college, charitable school, political personality, and there's a lot more different types of personalities. On the tour, when Ellie toured, the tour guide showed her the cafeteria and the dorms and said, here's our new green science building. It has solar panels, it's recycled, where it's built out of recycled material and all that. And Ellie was impressed. Then she went down to, that was at Pacific Lutheran University. Then she and her family went down to Willamette University and went on the tour there. And the tour guide showed her around, showed her the cafeteria, the dorms, and said, here's our new science building. It's green. It's made out of recycled material and all that, and solar panels, etc. And Ellie's like, wait a minute, time out. We just heard that at the other college, at the other campus. And then she went down to University of the Pacific in Stockton, California, and the tour guide walked her around. Here's the cafeteria. Here's our dorms. Here's our classrooms. And said, here's our new green science building. It's made out of recycled material and solar panels. It's like, okay, cross that off as being unique and different. I'm not impressed about that anymore. So you want to visit multiple colleges because you're going to see a lot of similarities as these people are telling you about these campuses and all that stuff. And you want to cross off those similarities and really look for the personality and the vibe of the campus. When you identify the vibe of the campus and you're like, yeah, this is a really cool vibe, I like it, then that college is going to be a good fit for you. And you want to keep it on your list. So when you visit a college or you talk with a recruiter, if you don't walk away with the impression of, wow, that school's awesome, I want to go there, I want to study at that college. If you do not walk away with that impression, know that the recruiter did a bad job. That is their job, is to impress you and to sell you on their campus. So go visit some colleges that are in your local area so that when you do go on vacation to California, Minnesota, Illinois, Washington, or wherever, you can take out a couple hours and go visit some colleges. Go to a college sporting event or the college concert or a college play. The more information you can collect from a variety of colleges, the more informed you're going to be when you make your final selection. Also on my website is the college tips PDF. Check that out on the azcollegeplanning.com website. Get ready to get information from a college. So be intentional with the information that you receive from colleges. Go to the college's website and click on the search bar and type in request for information and then fill out this form. It's going to ask you what your name is, what your address is, what your phone number, what your email is. Sometimes they ask you what your grade, what your GPA is, what grade level you are. I'm a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior in high school. Sometimes they ask you what your intended major is. It's okay now as a freshman or a sophomore, and maybe even as a junior, to say that you're undeclared with your major. But when you apply to a college, we might need to be strategic about selecting a major. But initially right now, you can say undeclared if you really don't know. If you do know, then, and you're like, hey, I think I want to be a nurse, then in there specify nursing, because then you'll get on their mailing list and you'll start getting stuff from the college, and it'll be specifically geared towards the major it is that you might want to study in college. This is an important step. You must do this for all of the colleges that you will apply to. Go to the college's website, fill out the request for information form. So filling out this request form is very important. Now that you're on the college's mailing list, you're going to get stuff. You're going to get brochures and flyers and view books and emails and all that stuff. Compare these brochures. You're going to see a lot of similarities, and don't let the pictures from the brochures influence your selection. That they have designed these, they have designed the brochures, they have designed these view books specifically to influence you. So they're being intentional about influencing you to choose to apply to and ultimately attend their college. Every photo that you have seen on the website, brochures, postcards, everything, every one of them has been photoshopped. The skies are brilliant blue, the greens are sharp and crisp, the landscape is immaculately crafted, and all the students are always smiling and appear to be happy. The Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin-Madison, they posted this picture, and one of these two pictures is the original, and one of these two has been photoshopped. I'll let you take a couple seconds to look at these photos and see if there's something different between these two photos. I'll give you 5 seconds to look at it and identify it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They photoshopped this kid in just so that they can have a variety of ethnicities at the college. I think that's pretty funny that they did that. When that kid found out that he was photoshopped in there because he was not at that game, he was pretty upset. It's like, hey, get ready to look at the information that colleges send you. So be objective with all the things that you look at. Also check out College Board's website, collegeboard.org. Go to College Board. You can type in the name of the college. You can review the stuff that's on there and look at some of the data that's on there as well. When you're looking at colleges, College Board's a really good website, and collegeresults.org is another one of my favorite websites to get statistical information about a college. And you can look on those websites and try to identify categories that might be underrepresented that you might be able to fill. And those categories might be gender, might be ethnicity, it might be an underrepresented major. It also could be talent, which could be athletic talent, musical talent, artistic talent, theatrical talent. And sometimes colleges look at geographic diversity. If not a lot of students from your state are attending that college, then that might be a bonus and a benefit for you as you're applying to these colleges. We're going to talk about this in more detail in the leverage class. So plan on attending the leverage class as we talk about how to identify underrepresented categories. Get ready to look at information. Take the proper college track. State requirements to get a high school degree may be different than the college's admission requirements. I had a conversation with a student, and at his high school here in Arizona, he met with his counselor, and his counselor said, "Oh, you're doing everything. You're going to graduate. You don't need to take any additional classes. Just take the classes that you're currently taking." Well, when he went to apply to ASU, he found he was deficient in a math class, and he had to scramble his last year and take an extra math class to meet the requirements for that particular college. Remember that question, what does the college value do that? So if the college wants or values a student that has taken 2 or 3 or more math classes, then of course, take those more math classes. Homeschool students can start taking community college classes in their junior year. Find out if there's any special requirements for homeschool students, as each college is different. If you're looking at a specific major, take classes that will help. So if you're thinking about potentially being a nurse or going into the medical field, then take some biology, anatomy, and chemistry classes. If you're thinking about going into engineering, then consider taking calculus, trigonometry, and things like that for engineering students. If you're thinking about science, if you're thinking about computer science, then of course, take the computer hardware, software classes that your high school offers. If your high school doesn't offer those classes, then look for ulterior means of taking those classes, either online or through community colleges, just as the example I gave you with Elijah. Get ready to develop relationships and rapport. So be intentional as you develop friendships and relationships with teachers, counselors, college recruiters, college professors, college theater directors, marching band directors, and anyone else who can help you get into college. So be intentional with who you meet. Part of the college application is a recommendation letter from a teacher or a counselor and others. A great recommendation letter is designed. It's typically going to be your junior teacher that writes your recommendation letter. Start now by interacting in class, participate, ask questions, seek help if you need it. Ask if you can help in any way. By participating and seeking help and helping, your teacher will recognize you and you will be able to develop better rapport with that teacher. When they know you, and as they know you, they will you'll be able to develop better rapport with that teacher, and they'll write you a better recommendation letter. Okay. So get ready to develop relationships with counselors. Meet your counselor at least twice a semester. Develop a game plan to graduate and take the proper classes for admission to college. And say hello to your counselors and your teachers when you see them in the cafeteria, in the hallway, or maybe even in the parking lot. Hey, Mrs. Smith, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. That little bit of courtesy goes a long way with you getting a better, stronger recommendation letter. You can also develop rapport with other people, and those could be employers, pastor, priest, or rabbi, coaches, other leaders, and college recruiters. This is especially important for homeschool students, as you will need one or more of these people to write your recommendation letter for you. So Gabby met with her recruiter at a college fair, followed up with a thank you note, called that recruiter on the phone and asked a whole bunch of questions, developed rapport and a friendship with that admissions recruiter. And as a result of that, Gabby got admitted to Hobart William Smith College in New York and got an amazing scholarship package along with that. And that is all by design. Get ready to develop relationships. So we want to talk about why are we doing these things? And the reason is when you have a positive relationship with someone, they may become your advocate. And when that person becomes your advocate, that's when the magic happens. Someone who is your advocate will write you a better recommendation letter. A college admissions recruiter who's your advocate will help you get in admitted and even get better scholarships. Get ready to develop a relationship by going to the college fair. In Maricopa County, there are 2 college fairs, one in the fall, one in the spring. Go to those events. Meet the recruiter, ask the recruiter questions, get the recruiter's business card, and then follow up with a thank you email. Some college recruiters will visit your local high school campus. When that admissions recruiter goes to your high school campus, meet that recruiter, ask the recruiter questions, get that recruiter's business card, and follow up with a thank you email. And the thank you email is very simple. Thank you for taking the time out to come to my high school and talk to me about the biology program that your college offers. Sincerely, JD. Get on the college's radar using the college touch points. We're going to talk about that in the influencer class. Plan on attending the influencer class. We'll talk much more deeply about the college touch points and how to properly demonstrate interest. 2 ways to demonstrate interest. I call them the college touch points. Every time you reach out and you touch a college, they're going to track that. And 2 ways is request information from the college by going to the college's website and then going to the college fair and meeting the recruiter. And then a 3rd touch point is follow up with that thank you email. Getting on a college's radar is important. We want to be tracked. When Caitlin applied to colleges, she demonstrated a lot of interest at St. Martin's University up in Seattle. And at University of Portland in Oregon, she did not demonstrate interest. She did apply to that college. When University of Portland received Caitlin's college application, in the admissions department, everyone was asking the question, has anybody met the student? Anyone? Does anybody know who Caitlin is? And everyone in the office is like, I don't know who that is. But she does meet the admissions requirements. So let's admit her and let's give her a teaser scholarship. And they gave her $1,000 out of $70,000. At St. Martin's University, because she demonstrated a lot of interest at that school, that college admitted her. She did meet the requirements for admission, but they also gave her an incredible scholarship package. If you want to increase your chances of being admitted and you want to increase your chances of getting better scholarships, then demonstrate a lot of interest and attend the influencer class to learn how to demonstrate interest. Demonstrate interest is one indicator used by colleges to determine how interested applicants are in enrolling in their college. Demonstrating interest can be assessed through various contacts with the admissions office, including requesting information, campus tours, and contact with admissions representatives. Get ready. Your social sites. Many colleges are checking out students on social platforms. So keep your social sites clean. Clean language and clean photos. No hate speech. Students have been rejected based on the information that college recruiters find on social sites. So be intentional about your online presence. So in conclusion, grades matter from the first day of school. Your very first day, 9th grade, your grades matter from the very beginning. You're going to hear some people say, your freshman year grades don't matter. It's your 10th and 11th and 12th grade years that matter. That is not true. The truth is, on the college application, it asks, what did you do from 9th grade moving forward? What are your grades in 9th grade? What are your grades in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade? All those things matter. So in conclusion, to recap, grades, GPA, test scores, extracurricular involvement, class rank, all those things are important. Passion can be developed and carefully created. If you need some help with developing your passion, please, it's also called your spike. So if you need some help with that, give us a call. We'll be happy to schedule a meeting to specifically talk about that stuff. Join clubs and activities, get involved and get a leadership position. Start on this path early. That will increase your chances of success, and you'll do it with less stress. Life will happen anyway, so let's be intentional with the things that are under our control. So what do we do next? The most common excuse is, I forgot. I forgot there was a homework assignment. I forgot there was a term paper. Or I forgot there was this big project. I forgot there was a test. Can you imagine if UPS or FedEx or Amazon said, I forgot your package? That would never happen. They can track exactly where your package is at any given moment. It's really incredible how they can track these packages. You get a email and a text message, your package was delivered. They even show you a photo of the package at your doorstep. So that they track all these things. So they can track exactly where your package is at any given moment. You already know that there's going to be these things, tests, quizzes, term papers, reports, and other big projects. Write it down. Use a sheet, write it down on a piece of paper or put it in your phone electronically, type all those things out and track all that stuff and put dates on there. Oh, this term paper is due in November. I've got this big project that's due in March. Put those dates down in there. When you or any student goes to college, you will be treated as an adult. On the first day of class, the professor will give you a syllabus that outlines the semester. The syllabus will tell you which chapters you need to read each day and every week. The syllabus will tell you when the tests and the finals are scheduled. It is your job to take self-responsibility and stay on task throughout the semester. There is no excuse for I didn't know, because it is all tracked on the syllabus. So write it down in on a piece of paper or write it down electronically. So what do we do next? Go to my website, azcollegeplanning.com. There's a lot of stuff that's in the client only section. Check that stuff out. And write down your goals. What GPA do you currently have? What GPA will you have when you graduate? What test score do you want? Write all those things down. When you write it down, something magical happens. Your brain remembers it more vividly because you saw it with your eyes, you felt it with your hands as you wrote it, and if you read it out loud, then you've got the auditory. So you hit the three senses of learning, and the three senses are tactile, kinesthetic, where you touch it, and that's going to be writing it down. Don't type it out, but write it down on a piece of paper. That's the kinesthetic, tactile. And then the visual is you read it with your eyeballs. So that's visual learning. And the auditory learning is you read it out loud. I will have a 3.98 GPA, unweighted GPA, when I graduate. So be intentional with all these things. Got any questions? If you have a question, please unmute yourself and ask the question.